Good morning and welcome to the Dallas Download, your quick look at what's trending, what's happening, and what everyone's talking around DFW. I'm Kayla, and we've got a lot to get into today, so let's jump right in.
And then we reconstruct or replace your ACL.
All that and more right here on the Dallas Download. It feels like just about everyone has a business idea these days, and AI is making it easier than ever to take that first step. More people are turning side projects into real companies, even without a technical background. Joining us now is Deap Ubhi from Amazon Web Services to explain what's driving this trend. Welcome, Deap. How are you?
I'm well, Kayla. How are you?
Doing good. I'm glad to hear that. So it seems like AI is giving people new ways to get started. How is it helping fuel this surge of startup activity?
Yeah, well, the way I like to talk about it is like, let's think about what it used to be like to try to build software, to write code. This is something that maybe was foreign to most, including myself. This is something that was the providence of software developers and people with computer science degrees, and that just is no longer the case. These AIs are very, very powerful. They're really, really good at taking very straightforward natural language commands and turning it into something that is a functional piece of software, a website, an app. So this effectively means that anyone with an idea, anyone with creativity, anyone with conviction can take that idea and can actually see it come to life. And I think that that's a really awesome thing.
And when someone launches a new business, what are a few things they often overlook that can create problems later?
Yeah, I mean, with this, you now have, you're now on sort of, hyper speed in the way that which you can build these businesses, and you will, oftentimes overlook some things. I think typically the things that we see founders trade off early on when they're moving very, very fast are things in and around security. Things in and around cost optimization. So if you're building something that you want to put in the hands of customers and users, you want to make sure that they feel like, that's a secure application, that, any data that they give to that application is not going to be compromised. You want to also make sure that as and when you're getting more customers using your tool, your platform, that your costs are not ballooning. We have spent years and years and years, Kayla, basically giving this guidance to startup founders. And we have bottled all of that up, and we have put that in a new AI that we call the AWS Startup Advisor. And so this is like our way of saying, hey, you know what? We've got decades of experience doing this with some of the biggest startups in the world. We are going to take all of that resident knowledge, we're going to put it in AI, and we're going to make it freely available to everyone.
And how can AI help startups grow faster and get into that revenue stage more quickly?
Yeah, again, this comes back to just you're going to have, faster iteration cycles. Because AI can do things for you so quickly, you can get things in the hands of customers more quickly. The sooner you get something in the hands of your customers or your users, the sooner they can give you feedback. The sooner they can give you feedback, you can iterate, you could refine, you could, move towards a product that's more closer to what the customer expects. And once you get there, your customers are going to be willing to pay you. So again, this all comes down to speed. It all comes down to like our ability to take those take those cycles and compress them into like days and weeks. This is something that traditionally would have taken, months, quarters, and by the way, would have taken multiple types of experts, software developers and graphic designers, and all of that goes away with AI. It's you, and it's the AI, and it's your idea.
And if viewers want to learn more, where should they go?
They should open their browser and they should go to startups.aws. That's a great place to get started. We've got a lot of great guidance there on all of the tools that you need. Again, this is not rocket science anymore. You can also download the Startup Advisor there. That's what I would firmly suggest everyone does, because that's going to be sort of your foot in the door on getting that really, really good guidance from AWS from the jump.
Deap Ubhi, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Yeah, thanks, Kayla. Thanks for having me.
Have you ever woken up feeling like you barely slept because you were too hot all night? Summer temperatures can make it tough to get comfortable. Today, we're talking with lifestyle contributor Justine Santaniello about a few simple ways you can make your bedroom feel cooler and more relaxing this season. Welcome, Justine. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
I'm happy you're here. So why do so many people have a harder time sleeping during the summer?
I think there's a few reasons, but honestly, the biggest one being temperature. And as somebody who runs hot naturally, I can tell you firsthand that when your sleep environment is too warm, that's when you're going to experience that more restless, fragmented sleep. And that's why it's really important for all of us to create an overall space that helps the body feel calm and cool, so that not only can we fall asleep easier, but also stay asleep.
And how important are bedding materials when it comes to staying comfortable overnight?
So important. Material makes a huge difference. Not all fabrics are created the same and behave the same when it comes to heat and moisture and airflow, right? You want to look for something that's breathable, that has moisture wicking fabric. So I recently changed over my whole bed to the Bedshore Pure Woven organically grown bamboo viscose sheets. I mean, they have made such a difference. These sheets, they are made from bamboo derived materials, which is huge because they're naturally then lightweight and designed to promote airflow. So I have the sheets here. I also have the Bedshore duvet cover set. So if you guys are using, let's say, like a traditional comforter right now, I would definitely recommend switching over to a duvet. And these things all change. They work together how your bed physically feels.
And if someone wants to refresh their sleep space for summer, what should they start with and start to look for?
It's about the whole space, guys. So small changes. You want soft lighting, less clutter, really good airflow in the space, breathable bedding, of course. And that Bedshore Pure Woven Bamboo collection has everything that you guys need. It has pillowcases, sheets, duvet covers, and everything's meant to work together to give you that cooler, more comfortable sleep.
And my friend, where can viewers go to learn more?
Yeah, so if you guys go to Amazon and you search Bedshore's Pure Woven Bamboo Collection, you'll see the entire collection. And make sure that you guys also look back next week so that you could take advantage of those Amazon Prime Day deals.
Justine Santaniello, you're a hero. Thanks for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Have you ever wondered what separates elite athletes from the rest of us when it comes to nutrition and recovery? While most of us aren't training for a World Cup, the habits that help top athletes perform at the best can also apply to everyday life too. Today we're joined by Dr. Krissy Ladner, Director of Sports Performance and Nutrition Education at Herbalife, to talk about the Fuel Like Ronaldo campaign and some simple ways we can improve our own health and wellness. Welcome, Dr. Ladner.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Kayla.
So we hear a lot about how elite athletes train, but what can the rest of us learn from how someone like Cristiano Ronaldo fuels and recovers every day?
Yeah, I know. It's a little intimidating to think that we could be anything like the great Cristiano Ronaldo. However, we can. So these same principles that we use to plan nutrition for our elite level athletes apply to everyday people. And so somebody like Mr. Ronaldo, he's eating every 2 to 3 hours. He has protein every single time he eats. He's hydrating throughout the day, not just right before exercise. And my favorite one is that he is planning recovery as part of his training. So he's planning his exercise and he knows that recovery comes right after that. So we ourselves don't have to be an elite level athlete in order to fuel like one. However, we do need to be consistent with the practices that we do.
And tell us about Herbalife's Fuel Like Ronaldo campaign and the 4-step framework it's built around.
Yeah, so we're really trying to make this easy and we're putting it into 4 simple steps. The first one is to prepare. You're preparing your body for exercise by eating consistently and hydrating. So that's looking at about 2 to 3 liters of water per day at least. And you're making sure that you're fueling yourself. You're not under fueling. So you're eating consistently throughout the day, no large gaps between meals and snacks. The second is going to be perform. That means when you're performing, we're maintaining our energy and hydration levels. That might mean that you need to have a carbohydrate-based sports drink, similar to the one Cristiano Ronaldo himself made, CR7 Drive. He made this with us at Herbalife. And so it has carbohydrates. And of course, you add it with water. So you're getting that energy during. And then the third one is recover. Just like Ronaldo, we need to make sure that we're giving our body rest, adequate sleep, protein and fluids after exercise, because we want to make sure that we can do it again. And then that leads us to number 4, which is repeat. You have to make sure that this isn't a one-off good day. You want to make sure that you're practicing these things consistently, because that's what's going to allow your body to make adaptations and long-term changes.
And what are some signs that our bodies might not be getting the hydration or nutrients that they need?
Yeah, we often think of thirst as the only way to tell if we're dehydrated, but really our body's telling us in many ways, such as headaches, dry mouth, dizziness, fatigue, poor recovery after exercise, like needing a lot more rest or soreness. And so paying attention to those, also thinking, am I drinking fluids throughout the day? If not, you probably need some more. And when it gets really, really hot, so I know Dallas, Texas, you guys get hot out there, you might need to add an electrolyte-based drink during the summertime, especially if you're sweating a lot or you're traveling. That can really increase your fluid needs, and electrolytes help your body retain those fluids better.
And for someone trying to build healthier habits, what are a few simple things they can start doing consistently every day?
Yep, you got to eat consistently, and every single time you eat, you have protein and you have fluids. So if you keep that up, that can really lead to some big long-term changes for you.
And doctor, where can people go for more information about the campaign and these wellness tips?
We have everything set up for you at fuellikeronaldo.com. You can review everything we talked about today and find even more tips and tricks there.
Dr. Krissy Ladner, thanks so much for being here this morning.
Yes, thank you, Kayla.
Money can be one of the biggest sources of stress in a relationship, but it turns out a lot of couples are feeling pretty confident about their finances. The catch? Many still aren't having regular conversations about money. Joining us now is Frank Maltais, a vice president and financial consultant at Fidelity Investments, with some insights from Fidelity's latest Couples and Money study. Welcome, Frank.
Thanks, Kayla.
So, Frank, Fidelity's latest study found that most couples feel confident about their finances, but many still avoid talking about money. Why do you think that disconnect exists?
Yeah, it's interesting. That really is a key finding this year. Most couples do feel good talking about their financial partnership, but nearly half say they avoid money conversations to prevent conflict, amongst other things. Money, it can be emotional and it touches on everything from daily spending to long-term goals. And sometimes those conversations can feel a bit uncomfortable. So while confidence is high, couples may still be leaving some important topics unsaid. The key takeaway is that confidence and communication, they're not always the same thing. And when couples start talking more openly, they tend to feel even more aligned and prepared for the future.
And the study also found that nearly 70% of couples didn't fully understand their partner's financial situation before moving in together. What are some of the key conversations people should be having early on?
Yeah, this is really a big opportunity area. Early on, it's important to cover the basics, things like income, debt, savings habits, and financial goals. Those conversations don't have to happen all at once, and naturally, they probably won't, but they should happen consistently. We often recommend starting with shared goals, maybe planning for a trip or saving for home projects, because those tend to feel a bit more positive. From there, you can build into bigger topics like long-term planning. At the end of the day, it's not about having identical habits, but it's about understanding each other and staying more aligned.
And for couples who want to get more comfortable talking about money, what's a good place to start?
It really comes down to two simple steps. Start small and stay consistent. First, set aside some dedicated time, something even like an occasional money date to talk in a low-pressure way. Focus on positive topics like shared goals or upcoming plans to get more comfortable. Second, build the habit. The couples that talk on a regular basis about money, they tend to feel more aligned and more prepared. It's just many aren't doing it yet. And that's where Fidelity can help. You can visit fidelity.com/couples, where we offer tools to see your full financial picture and access to professionals who can guide those conversations. At the end of the day, it's about turning those small conversations into more consistent plans.
And we're seeing more millennials and Gen Z couples keep their finances separate. What's driving that trend?
This is interesting. Younger couples are really redefining what financial partnership looks like. Today, only about 42% of couples fully combine their finances. In younger generations, they're much more likely to keep their accounts separate. A big driver is independence. About 2/3 of people say it's important to maintain some financial autonomy. But what's important to point out is that separate doesn't mean disconnected. Whether couples combine everything, keep things separate, or maybe do a mix of both, success really comes down to communication and transparency. While the structure can vary, the need to stay on the same page doesn't.
And my friend, where can people go for more information and resources?
You can visit fidelity.com/couples to explore tools, resources, and tips specifically designed for couples and families. Fidelity also offers educational content and guidance to help people have more productive financial conversations and plan for the future.
Frank, I want to thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Summer means vacations, road trips, backyard parties, and trying to fit all the fun into just a few short months. If you're looking for ways to keep things simple this season, lifestyle and travel expert Julie Loffredi is here with some great ideas. Welcome, Julie. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Everybody seems to be traveling right now. What are some of your favorite travel essentials this year?
Well, keep it simple, make a plan. Hydration is often overlooked when we're on the go. A recent report from Liquid IV found that while most Americans know hydration is important, there is a hydration gap. Less than half of us actually feel hydrated daily. So that's why I'm loving Liquid IV's new hydration multiplier, sugar-free ring pop cherry. It combines the nostalgic flavor with Live Hydra science. That's Liquid IV's science-backed hydration formula to hydrate faster than water alone, making it really a great option for all those busy summer adventures.
And parents are juggling a lot during summer months. How can they make mealtime easier?
Yeah, a few easy meals in your back pocket sounds good. Less stress about dinner, more time enjoying summer together. A new survey from Board and Cheese found that parents are craving simplicity more than ever during summer break, which is why I'm a big fan of having a few family-friendly recipes you can rely on. Board and individually wrapped singles make it easy to create simple, fun recipes like pizza grilled cheese sandwiches, Juicy Lucy cheeseburger sliders that both kids and adults enjoy. For more recipe inspiration, you can check out boardandcheese.com/simple summer fun.
And we all want to enjoy summer, but sometimes the schedule gets a little crazy. What's your advice for making the most of the season without feeling overwhelmed?
Yeah, well, my family's summer schedule is totally packed. We try to keep it organized, keep it simple, have those go-to recipes handy, and also our hydration and our kind of road trip must-haves already packed up in advance and keeping things really simple.
Well, great advice, Julie. I know I'm taking notes, but for those out there who aren't, where can we go for more information?
You can head to liquid-iv.com and also follow Borden_cheese on Instagram. They've got some weekly summer giveaways going on right now.
Julie Loffredi, you are a hero. Thanks for joining us this morning.
You bet.
Healthy eating isn't always about finding more information. Sometimes it's about getting great advice that actually fits your lifestyle. New AI tools are helping people better understand their food choices and make nutrition goals feel more manageable. Joining us now is Melissa Jaeger, Head of Nutrition at MyFitnessPal. Welcome, Melissa. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good. I'm glad to hear that. So why does generic nutrition advice often miss the mark, and what does personalized guidance actually look like?
Well, there is so much information available out there today, even AI-generated guidance, but it is really built for the average individual, and it's not taking into account what you ate today, what your nutrient needs are, or what your personal nutrition goals are. And that's where MyFitnessPal's AI coach is different, because it's grounded in your real logged behavior, taking into consideration what you ate for breakfast this morning, what your nutrient needs are, even your saved recipes and nutrition habits over time. It's offering that opportunity to act as a real-time translator and provide conversational guidance to support you as you navigate your health and wellness goals with a personalized lens.
And how are AI coaching tools making it easier for people to see how their everyday food choices connect to their long-term health goals?
Well, we can see how our everyday food choices are stacking up in terms of calories to macro to micronutrients by logging over time. But the real challenge is turning that data or those insights into action. And that's where our AI coach bridges the gap, becoming that data translator, if you will, helping you to navigate how what you log today and your current nutrition habits impact your long-term health goals.
And what kinds of questions can someone ask an AI nutrition coach, and how does it help with real-life situations like eating out or even meal planning?
I recommend starting with open-ended nutrition questions to gain personalized insights right off the bat. And from there, apply it to real-world scenarios. Say you know you're going out to eat later this week, prompt it by asking it, I'm going out to eat at this restaurant. Take a look at the menu and tell me what I can order to still hit my macro goals. Or maybe you're focused on meal prepping and you're looking for budget-friendly solutions. You can ask it, I'm prompting it to say, I'm meal prepping later this week. I want the best budget-friendly protein option incorporated into a couple different recipe ideas. From there, you can take that guidance or get a little bit more personalized by asking it about what food swaps could you do in order to help you hit your nutrient goals, or what pairings could you have with your meals in order to help you, again, hit those nutrition goals.
And my friend, where can viewers download MyFitnessPal, and how can they get started with AI Coach?
You can download the MyFitnessPal app from the Apple App Store or Google Play and unlock tools like AI Coach, in addition to enhanced logging features like Meal Scan or Voice Log with a Premium or Premium Plus subscription.
Melissa Jaeger, you are a hero. Thanks for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me.
A lot of us worry about money, but for some men, those financial challenges can feel deeply personal. A new survey found many men feel they're falling short when they're struggling financially, and that can affect their mental health too. Joining us today is Nathan Astle from Beyond Finance to talk about what's driving that pressure and what people can do about it. Welcome, Nathan.
Thank you for having me. Excited to talk.
So, Nathan, your survey found many men still feel responsible for being the primary provider. Why is that pressure hitting so hard right now?
Well, there's a couple of different pieces, and one is this big disconnect between what men feel like society expects of them. 82% of men said that they feel like society still expects them to be the primary breadwinner. However, 70% of men said that that just isn't realistic. You know, there's rising costs, there's housing problems, there's economic uncertainties. So we've got the situation where we've got yesterday's, expectations or yesterday's financial output being based in today's expectations. And there's really a big mismatch there.
And why do you think money is still connected to how many men define success or even their identity?
A lot of men see success as evidence of their self-worth, and so if I'm doing well financially, then I get to feel good about myself. But on the flip side, if there's financial struggle, it's not just a financial struggle, it's also kind of an identity crisis. Who am I if this isn't a role that I can fulfill?
And a lot of men don't talk about financial struggles. Why do so many keep it to themselves, and what impact can that have?
It certainly has a huge impact on our mental health. Another kind of alarming thing from the Beyond Finance survey showed that over half of men have intentionally avoided a financial discussion because they felt like they needed to be able to do it by themselves. And that silence is a additional part of this problem that we really need to change, because isolation is one of the worst things for our mental health and one of the worst things for our financial health as well.
And if someone's feeling stressed and overwhelmed about money, what's one thing they can do today to start moving in a healthier direction?
Yeah. First, please remember that financial struggle is not a character flaw. This is a situation. It's not a defining moment. The other thing is, remember, let's focus on the things that we can control. Even little areas of our financial life that we have influence over is a good starting point. And finally, make sure that you aren't going at this alone. Talk with your family, talk with your partner, talk with your loved ones, your friends, your professionals in your life, anyone that can be on your team. Because humans aren't supposed to go through hard things alone, and that includes money struggles.
And my friend, where can viewers go for more information and some resources?
A great starting point is beyondfinance.com. They have a whole section of their website on financial wellness and, what are some beginning stages and tools, resources, where can we figure out this problem and how to fix it? So beyondfinance.com is a really good starting point.
Nathan Astle, it has been a pleasure. Thanks for being here this morning.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Summer has a way of filling up our calendars with travel, workouts, cookouts, and time outside, but it can also make it harder to stay on top of healthy habits. Joining us now with some simple ideas that can make a big difference is lifestyle expert Justine Bibbo Herr. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me, Kayla.
So Justine, if someone wants to feel healthier this summer but doesn't want to overhaul their entire routine, where's a good place to start?
Well, we love to stay active, right? But staying active can come with some challenges for getting all the nutrients we need, and that's hard to do with diet alone, especially when it comes to omega-3s. And research is showing that nearly 80% of Americans aren't getting enough when it comes to omega-3 fatty acids, which play an important part in supporting our heart, brain, joint, and brain health. And it really is something that we're looking to support more of, especially in the summer. That's why I love now krill oil. It's a unique form of omega-3 with better absorption than traditional fish oil and clinically studied benefits for an active lifestyle, including exercise, recovery, and joint health. And what I love is that now uses Acker BioMarine NKO oil, which is the most sustainable and researched krill oil on the market, and known for its rigorous quality testing, so you know you're getting exactly what's on the label.
And more activity usually means more aches and sorenesses too. What are some easy ways people can recover and keep feeling their best?
Yes, well, people are least prepared when they ramp up that summer activity for those aches and pains, and having something fast and effective on hand can make all the difference. That's why I love packing BioFreeze. It's trusted for over nearly 30 years, from healthcare professionals to athletic trainers and pain sufferers. And it really is fast acting, it's cooling, it's great for those muscles and joints. And then for their menthol-based products, like the BioFreeze roll-on gel products, it provides a cooling sensation, so it helps to override those pain signals in the brain and really help with that joint recovery. So it's small enough, and we love that because you could pop it right in your bag or take it on the go. Great for summer travel.
And we all love a good summer cookout. How can people enjoy those meals while still making healthier choices?
Yes, well, people want something recognizable ingredients that they could feel good about serving their family without having to choose between better-for-you options and great flavor. So that's where Bragg comes in. It's a trusted wellness brand for over 100 years, and they've really helped shape the modern-day apple cider vinegar movement, too. Their apple cider vinegar is made from organically grown apples. It's raw, unfiltered, and naturally fermented, and I love its versatility. You can make everything from summer mocktails, marinades, sauces, and dressings, and grilling recipes as well. So it's a great way to get that wellness and flavor into all your seasonal dishes.
And hydration gets talked about a lot this time of year. What are some simple ways to help the whole family stay hydrated?
Yes, well, hydration is one of the simplest things we could do to support our wellness, especially outdoors, entertaining, and that's why I love water drop solutions. solutions. So their M6H delivers cleaner, better tasting water, and it has multiple temperature settings. So easy to prepare coffee, tea, oatmeal, and customized beverages. And then for everyday use, we have the water drop glass water filter pitcher, and that's a beautiful table-ready design and sustainable option. So you can make sure you're keeping your friends and your family guests hydrated all season, no matter what you're doing.
And my friend, where can our viewers go for more information and summer wellness tips?
You could check out my site at nycpretty.com.
Christine, it has been a pleasure. Thanks for being here this morning.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
With soccer fans focused on the World Cup, it's also a good time to talk about one of the sport's most common injuries, ACL tears. There's a newer treatment option that's getting a lot of attention now, and we're learning about it today. Joining us now are Dr. Scott Sigman and soccer coach Marcelo Cunha. Thank you both for being here this morning.
Thanks, Kayla. Happy to be here.
So, Dr. Sigman, why do we see ACL tears so often in soccer, and who is most at risk?
So it is all about the World Cup right now, Kayla, and let's just say go Team USA. The truth is about ACL injuries is they're very common in most sports, whether it's football, lacrosse, field hockey, skiing, or soccer. The reason is the knee is a hinged joint. It does not do very well with rotation. So anytime you're either starting or stopping or pivoting, you're at risk for tearing your ACL.
And for people who may not be familiar with it, what is the Bear implant and how is it different from traditional ACL surgery?
So traditional ACL surgery, if you tear your ACL, we just have to remove it. And then what we do is we sort of drill these holes into your bone. We take a piece of tissue from your knee, whether it's your hamstring tendon or your quad or your patellar tendon, and then we reconstruct or replace your ACL. With the Bear implant, we're taking advantage of the human body's incredible ability to heal itself. So instead of just removing it, we're going to suture it. We're going to put it back together. We're going to take this novel collagen implant, literally, Kayla, it looks like a marshmallow. We're going to place that right over top. We're then going to draw some blood, put that over top, and it creates an incredible healing environment for the ACL to be able to be healed rather than having to be replaced.
And Marcelo, what made you choose the Bear implant, and how has your experience affected the way you work with athletes dealing with an ACL injury?
Yeah, so I unfortunately tore my ACL playing soccer, and I chose the Bear implant because it helps my body heal itself and gets me out there quicker so I can coach and do what I love. And I can't sit still. I can't sit on the couch. So I needed a surgery that got me back out there as fast as possible. And it gave me the confidence to do so because I need to go out there and demonstrate some techniques for the athletes, and obviously within the parameters, but it got me out there coaching as fast as possible.
And Dr. Sigman, who is the Bear implant right for?
So the FDA has actually approved the Bear implant for ages of 2 or up. So literally adults, adolescents, pediatrics, as long as you have viable tissue that can be repaired, you're a candidate for the Bear implant. Timing is not an issue. It can be done 3 months, 6 months, etc. There's some great new information for the patients that are really interested in long-term knee health. We have collected data now out to 6 years. And the FDA has looked at that data as well. And there's a 6-time reduction in the incidence of osteoarthritis or knee arthritis for patients that have undergone the Bear implant versus traditional ACL reconstruction. And in my 30 years of clinical practice, that is absolutely profound.
And where can people go to learn more information?
All about soccer right now, bearimplant.com/soccer. That's bearimplant.com/soccer.
Dr. Sigman and Marcelo, thank you both for being here this morning.
Thank you.
And that's going to do it for this edition of the Dallas Download. Thanks for hanging out with us. Be sure to follow along for more stories, more trends, and even more from your own city. We'll see you next time on the show we like to call the Dallas Download.